Hey everyone, today we are diving deep into one of the most important aspects of Salesforce development, that is Apex test classes. So let's get started. Let me show you a basic example using a class I built called test calculator. It takes in two numbers and an operator and returns the result. We support addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and we also handle invalid operations and division by zero using exceptions. So let's see on my class. I have a switch that operates on the input of the operator and does the following mathematical calculations depending on the input. So now let's see how the test class for this is made. As you can see, I have a class that starts by an @is_test, and this symbolizes that this is a test class. So let's go through the test class step by step. In the first section, we have initializations of integers that we are going to use in our tests. If you see the first function, I am calling my test calculator.calculate method from my original class, and I'm passing it num1 and num2 that are 15 and 3 with an operator of addition. So what this will do is this will call the class and switch on the addition method. It will add and return. So what it returns, we check it by using a system assert equals. We know that our test case will return 18. So this is the expected value and this is what it will actually calculate. If they are equal, this test case will pass. Similarly, we have more test cases for subtraction, multiplication and division. And once we run this test case, we can see that there is a code coverage. So for now, what I have shown you has covered these blue lines of my code, and these red lines have not been covered, and hence my coverage is 84%. It is a good practice that you cover 100% of your code. So in my code, I have exceptions. I'll just put it back. And now you can see if there is a division operator provided and number 2, that is the second argument, if the second argument would be 0, we have to give out an exception, because in math you cannot divide by 0, right? So if number is 0, number 2, then we are going to give out a math exception, can't divide by 0. Let's see how I have tested this. Let me just uncomment this code. So I have made another function for this test case, and I again initialize it as is_test, and I've given it a name calculate division with 0. So here I have a try catch system. I am trying to get to call my main class and giving it num1. The second argument is 0. As you can see, I've initialized a variable named 0 with the value of 0, and I'm giving it the operator division. And now I am expecting my code to fail on this line and not reach this line. So if the code reaches this line, something is going wrong. That syntax is this: system.assert false. So the code should not reach this line. If it reaches, something is wrong. Once my code fails on this line, it goes into the catch block and it will catch the math exception that we are throwing from our main class. It will check if the exception is equal to what we are expecting. My expectation is that my exception would be can't divide by 0, and it will check it with get message. So that's how I am checking that case. So if I just save this and on the top right, I run test. In the logs, we can see it's a success. If we go back to our test case and we again check the coverage, now this if statement is also blue. That means it has also been covered in our test case, and the overall coverage went up to 92. So there's one last line that we have to cover, right? Then we can just go back to our test case and I can uncomment this as well. Now we are checking for an invalid operator, an illegal argument invalid operator. So when there is an invalid operator, anything other than these operators in the switch case, then we are going to throw out an illegal exception of invalid operator. So let's see how I have tested that. In the last method, we can see I'm calling the test calculator.calculate again. I'm giving it number 1, number 2, and I am giving AND operator, which is not expected in our main class. So again, the code should break on this line. So I have added a system assert false over here. That is that this line should not be executed. The code will break here and it will go in the catch line. It will catch the illegal argument, and we are checking if the argument is as expected. So I said here that it should be invalid operator, and hence I'm going to check for invalid operator with this get message. So if we just save it and run this test, we again get a success message, and we can just go over here and just check for coverage. Now we can see that all of our lines are covered, and on the top left you can see our coverage is 100%. So this is the best practice, and we should always make sure that the code that we are developing should be covered 100% in the test classes. By default, Salesforce requires only 75% code coverage, but still, it's your code. You should know how it works, and you should make it up to 100% coverage. You can check this code coverage in the developer console of Salesforce UI. The blue lines always mean that the code is tested, the red lines is not tested. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment with your questions. Thanks for watching.